It's running.
Give me your money.
I have no money. I'm married.
So if you couldn't have tell, Wank.
Tail?
Tail.
A knot's tail?
If you could not tell by that quote there, we are going to do Black Knight, Sword of Rage, codenamed Black Knight 3.
I like Sword of Rage better.
I do like Sword of Rage better, but I've been seeing BK3 everywhere on forums, so
BK3.
if you hear it referenced by that name now, you know what it's actually called.
So Black Knight is a stern pinball, but it was kill the fly, kill the fly. We have a fly that's like...
It's still here.
It's our biggest fan.
Yeah.
It's a
My theory is that it's a spy from Jersey Jack on... They're wanting to make better pinballs, so they're spying on Stern stuff.
The fly? Why would it be here?
Because we're doing Stern machines. We don't even have any Jersey Jack stuff.
Not at the moment.
No.
The Black Knight is a Stern game, yes it is, but they went and got licensing from Williams to be able to use the iconic, at this point, Black Knight artwork and sounds, because this game does incorporate a lot of classic Black Knight stuff from the old days.
If you're wondering, the Bud Knight is not in it, dilly.
Oh my gosh, that's almost as bad as...
The jokes you Googled before doing this video?
Yes, I Googled jokes, so like...
By the way, this is a callback.
This is awesome.
It's a callback to one of our first videos where we did Stern versus Jersey Jack.
It is, isn't it? I forgot about that.
It's the same sword.
So what did the Black Knight say after he cut somebody's legs off?
What? A little morbid, don't you think?
Yes, it's morbid.
I don't know. What do you say?
You have been...
I don't know.
Defeated. Ha, ha. That's great, isn't it? That's awesome. So anyway, we are going to play the Black Knight Swords of Rage, and then we are going to give you our opinion on it.
We may have to play it multiple times because it is an absolute brutal game.
It is brutal. Steve has built one of those kind of games that Steve's builds sometimes, like F-14 or... what's another good example of one of those that will just beat the living snot out of you and laugh in your face? And Black Knight literally does laugh in your face. So we may have to play a couple of games to get one where we actually get a little ways in it, because we do have it set up a little tough. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go play Black Knight. We're going to play the limited edition version, and then we will review it for you.
All right.
All right.
On to the review.
Onward.
You're gonna get to that on film. Here we are. No, we're not. Here we are. I gotta work. I'm getting it consistently. I was getting it consistently. The wizard move. Yes. Consistently. Oh, it isn't 40 modes. There we go. Game
We're
three.
so much fun. My castle is burning!
There we go.
Catapult forward to not!
Hey, look, I got a catapult. That's gotta be a world record over there. There's no new code, so it's not worth anything.
No!
Awesome, like a maniac. Yep. I'm Generation Z, how many beats like that? That way.
I'll chase you down! Super Beach boosted! You rang my bell! Super Beach ready! Jackpot! 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 Fire him, loser! Jackpot! Jackpot. This will be more crash. It's just a scratch.
I guess pretty good, all things considered.
You fight like a little baby.
That is such an awesome call out.
Stop. Tactical ball one lock. None shall pass. Leave my sandworm alone. Oh no! You will pay for this! Your efforts are pitiful. Super is lit! Ball one, locked. Ball two, locked. Ball two, locked. Five, four, three, two, one. Your slaughter pleases me.
Stronger rackets! What the heck is saying here? It wouldn't matter.
Player one.
Really? Really? Yes. Yes.
Rocket! My castle is burning! Heading to base. No! You will pay for this! Oh no! Stand up and fight! Back off! Super pizza ready! Closed.
Oh boy! Sounds very hard, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for that to say there, so. Just slap it back. got us a game now.
Player 2.
Not really. It's still pretty for me. Pass 2 times. Outrage.
Music mindset. You weak, pathetic fool. My castle is burning! This was the biggest wizard I could find.
I'm the commander of the Boneheads.
No. Not mine. Not mine. Super Features boosted. Not mine. Hope this helps. No way. Not mine. Not mine. Super is lit. Not mine. I can end your pain. Your poor fighting skills fail you. Jackpot! Fine! Jackpot! Super jackpot collected! 2, 1. Jackpot! 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 Jackpot!
It's extra
You're
ball.
fighting with this pathetic.
I got an extra ball, but I turned it
This
into
is
a
the
drop.
stone hungry. You struck me. Jackpot. Jackpot.
That's pretty good looking ball. That's about pretty good.
Super Pulse. Stand up and fight. You fragile meatbag. You will never win. Feeling the heat? Super Pizza ready! Super Slings!
Oh my gosh. How did you waste that? I did. You had the best multi-ball stacked together. Wow.
Run home to mommy.
This is horrible. Holy cow. How do you waste that? I don't know. But I did. Good voice, too.
Player 2.
Extra ball. We some more opportunity lineups. I got the not know thing, baby. Yeah. Okay, it's gonna go old school if I can make the shots.
Light him up!
Yeah, I can. Really?
Get the rubber, Jack. Super features boosted!
I'm gonna backhand it.
Move the catapult! A gift for you! Catapult block next!
It jumped the flippers. It's not my fault. Of course, the one you really blow on, I'm getting blown out.
Player 1, prepare yourself!
I beat him twice before this, but YouTube won't know that. Unless I mention it. What's this one? This is the one like this over in the post. It's got a thing in it. The other two were warm-up matches. Oh,
Catapult ball running block!
oh yeah. I ain't gonna win it though. That's a game and that shot.
You grew weary, but I grow stronger.
No kidding.
Let me end your wretched life.
Or not. We can do that too.
Catapult ball 2, block! Move the catapult!
Oh, I had it. That's like 2. Come on.
Ball 2,
Those 3, I both win.
I hope you like it cold.
I'm busy. I can't stack him. Man, I need that new code. Here, yeah, I need the new code.
Jackpot! Jackpot! I will dance on your grave.
Little Morgan.
Super features boosted! Jackpot! Egg for your mother if you wish.
Oh, I got it. Nice. I got a nice ball.
Super legs! You will never win.
That's a player.
Super pops! You're wearing the fools! Jackpot! Jackpot! Super is lit!
70.
Super slings! Did you ever actually hit anything?
Okay. Yeah, about 70 million points worth. No.
Player 1.
I didn't even catch you, I don't think. You're close. 6 million. Let's get it, not.
You will perish, brother!
backyard grip.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
My castle is burning! Super Beat is boosted!
Okay, I can do it.
Super Beat are ready! This will help you on your quest. Super Spins! Have some napalm!
Touch it. Get back. Oh, come on. Really? I aimed for it about 5 times now. 6. There we go. I think I get it.
You will never win.
Oh, that perfect precision timing.
Super is left. You must have a duck with. My bow is ready. Only a flesh wound.
What do you want that reference?
Don't hold to mother magic.
Let me break 100. I want the bonus if I don't mess this up.
Music wisely. One woman too many. Player 2.
Yeah. So he was down, I don't know, a lot. Now he's got me down 22 million. There's no way. I have nothing left.
You're
Not
wasting
gonna
my
happen.
time.
I don't see it happening. We got to plug in the laptop though, because we're about to run out of about to run out of battery. I just barely broke 100. Okay, let's bring up what sounds like it's going to rare romance. Alright, we'll give it my best shot. Pretty good shot.
Tactical ball one locked. Tactical ball 2 locked. Your father misses me. Super features boosted. When does the actual fighting start? All one locked.
All three. So our ones from all three.
Get out. Super feature ready. Go away. Get out of here. Oh no! Walk, please. Stop them from getting to my master.
Gonna be an elevator.
5, 4, no! Jackpot! Jackpot! A mysterious gift! Super is lit! Oh, you don't hit me, I hit you! That hurts! One home to me. I got broke.
Dang it.
You dig your own grave.
Hey, I passed you.
I will tear you apart. Where is our worthy challenger? I've got some more for you right here. Blessing bestowed upon you. Cold-blooded murder. Load the catapults! Catapults block it! No, no! Tactical ball running rock. You will pay for this! Tactical ball 2 rock. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Run home with your mom. Kneel and face your death. Hope this helps. All too rock. Too weak, pathetic fool. Put out the flames! Stand up and fight. You gradual meatbag. My castle is burning!
Holy cow.
Black Castle. Stand up and fight.
Hey, what should it be? There's something about that. There's something bad. Status won't matter because I'm so strong. I know.
Not fine. I will hear your pleas and remove your head. I can end your pain. Super Orbis! Jackpot! Super Jackpot collected! Okay, what is it? I'll get it for you.
I'm gonna be headed down by the police.
Take your reward and go.
Very nice. Back. And behind you.
Take your reward.
And lip champion. I'm the Catapult Multi-Ball Champion. And the Mud Bob Champion. And the Grand Champion, too! The Grand Champion, too. Oh, yeah. Well, we got to update the code so it won't stay long.
You lost twice.
I had to get warmed up. Yeah, going. Yeah. So anyway, that is
That's probably the best footage of Black Knight ever.
yeah, that was a rough good game that last one. So anyway,
That's your best game of all time. That's my second.
yeah, that's my best game ever. That's his what?
Second
Second
best.
best game ever. So there you go. That's Black Knight Sword of Rage limited edition number something. Number 128 of 600. And we're gonna call it a night. So
The guy with the sword does the review. This game has not been out for very long, so we may actually have to come back and revise this review. My first impression on the game is I think it is really, really good. I don't think it's as good as an Iron Maiden or a Tron, although that is asking a lot. So let's just get right into it. Gameplay, but the way it is now, it needs a code update, and I'll get into that in just a second. I would give gameplay a 7. If you're a casual gamer, you'll probably not like this game, but we're looking at this from the viewpoint of a competitive, so that won't really factor into much into my decision. So I give it a 7. The shots are pretty hard. There's a lot of posts to make, but they are rewarding. It's pretty clear what you need to do. Hit the mace or the Black Knight in the center, then hit the scoop to start the mode. You have 2 different ways to get a multi-ball. That's very nice. You have your 3 Knights challenge and your catapult multi-ball. 3 Knights challenge is done very, very well. My issue, and what I believe needs to be updated, is catapult multi-ball. With the LE version, you have an entire upper playfield. It does not exist on the pros, and because of that, I believe the pros should be rated very, very lower than the LEs, but we do have the LE, so it's a bit of a better game. But with Catapult Multi-Ball, it only gives out about 300,000 points on the first jackpot, and then it increases 50,000 for each consecutive one. I think that's very low when you compare it to the jackpots of 3 Nights Challenge, which are about 1 million a pop, or just the regular shots on modes, which can be usually around 1 million. That, and once you've started Catapult Multi-Ball, nothing you do on the top playfield matters. There is no hidden jackpot, super jackpot with the hidden playfield that we've been able to find. If I'm wrong on this, feel free to tell me, but we've played the game a ton of times, gotten to the Catapult what? I'm wrong?
Super jackpot's loading it back in the catapult after you make some other jackpots.
Okay, so there is a point to that. However, I do think it should give you something for doing that even when the super jackpot's not lit. I think it should give you at least some sort of points there. And other than that, there's not much to do in the upper playfield besides get about 300,000 points for making the loop. So the upper playfield's a cool feature, but it feels very barren. It could be so much more, in my opinion. That, and the game will just kick the crap out of you. So that it's not as fun for people who aren't competitive players. And the magnet save. Why is the smart button? Don't really like that. On the original Black Knight 2000 and on the, was there a magnet save on the first ever play? There was. So there's magnet save on the previous 2 games. It was a side button right next to the flipper, which is much easier to use. Taking your hands off the flippers is extremely dangerous. And the fact that the only function of the smart button is to do a magnet save, like if it did other stuff like give you a free jackpot shot, that would be nice. But it's just the magnet save, so I didn't particularly like that. But that's my only real complaints with the game. It runs very smoothly. A lot of shots, despite being hard, are really satisfying to make. You can do a lot of cool comboing and stuff. Getting up to the upper playfield is rewarding, satisfying, and pretty easy to do. I thought it was going to be much harder, but there's 2 different shots that allow you to do it. So I'd say the gameplay is an overall 7. Longevity, we've only had the game for a month. We usually play it about once or twice before going on to another machine. So I'd give longevity a solid 7 as well. You know, this game's kind of for the hardcore pinball fans. And if you're kind of just like a casual gamer or a collector and you only want a couple of machines, it may not be for you, but if you've been playing Black Knight since the 80s, you're definitely going to want Black Knight 3, Black Knight Sword of Rage. So I'd say longevity, it's a 7, maybe an 8. We haven't had the game for too long, so my rating on it may change the more I play it, but as of right now, how it stands, I'd say both gameplay and longevity are 7s. Sound and music, 10. Simply put, it's the best sounding machine ever made with original music. Also, the sounds of Steve Ritchie laughing in your face and referencing several different things, including Monty Python of all things. It's just amazing. The sound's a 10. Artwork, I'm gonna give it a solid 10 as well. It looks beautiful. It'll instantly stand out, and anywhere we're contemplating putting it right next to the Medieval Madness, which I think would look really great. With the way our game room is set up, we really only have room for 4 machines to show off the side art, and the side art is beautiful. So I'd give artwork probably a 10 as well, and that would average out to 8.5. 2 7s and 2 10s, I believe, is an 8.5. So a good game needs a code update, in my opinion. It is hard, but that's part of what makes it Black Knight. The sound and the artwork will grab anybody's attention. It'll be the first game you play when you enter an arcade. It should be, and it'll probably be a game that'll kick your butt in 2 minutes. But yeah, that was Black Knight, Sword of Rage. I currently hold the Grand Champ score on it of 151 million on my own game room. Hopefully that won't get beaten anytime soon, or I may beat it later on when we do the video. Why are you holding a deck of cards? Oh, he's gonna cut that part out. Anyways, yeah, that was my review. So 7 gameplay, 7 longevity, 10 on both artwork, sound, and music, which gives us an overall rating of an 8.5. I will hand the Sword of Rage, beat up Nerf sword, to my dad.
You're supposed to rage when you have this sword.
Oh,
The Sword of Rage.
I'm not a very rageful person.
I'm going to rage about something. What am I going to rage about? You know, I should have moved this show.
Probably.
I'm going to rage. I'm going to rage about this fly. I'm going to get the Sword of Rage after the fly. My kingdom for a fly swatter.
What's with the cards?
Oh, the cards. I'm going to do a card trick for all. We're going to pause the review just for a card trick. For everybody who watches this video, I'm going to do something amazing, something never done before in YouTube history. I am going to have you, the viewer, do a card trick with me. It's going to be amazing. Are you ready? Okay. I want you, the viewer, to think of a card. Think of a card. Right now, think of a card. Think of it. Get it in your head. Any card in the standard 52 card deck, including the Jokers, because they are in here. These cards courtesy of the Texas Pinball Festival, which you should always attend. So think of a card. Think of a card. Get it locked into your head, and I want you to transmit that thought to me right now across time and space. Now, watch as I maze you. That is not your card. Am I right? Isn't that amazing?
I mean, there's a 1 in 52 chance it was their card.
Yeah, but it's not. You know it's not.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway, that's the card trick for today. Let's talk about.
Oh my God.
Let's talk about Sword of Rage. Let's talk about Sword of Rage, shall we? Let's start with. What do we start with? We started with gameplay. I'm going to give it a 7 as well. It probably does need a code update, and mainly because that upper playfield needs something. It does have a sensor in the loop shot, so there should be something for making the loop shot. It really needed something else up there. I know why they did it the way they did it. They did it so that they could just pull that whole assembly and you have a Pro. But really, it needs something else up there to shoot at besides the one target to relight the catapult and the catapult shots and the loop sensor. So let's make use of that to the best we can when we update the code and give people something to shoot for up there. That being said, that catapult lock is not an easy shot. And if you're going to lock 3 balls up there and start that multi-ball, let's make that worth shooting for. Let's make those jackpots worth hitting. Let's make that super worth hitting. Let's make that worth something. And let's make stacking that multi-ball and the 3 knights multi-ball, if you can get those going at the same time, let's make that worth a lot. Because that is very difficult. That is not simple to do, to stack the 2 multi-balls. So I'd give the gameplay a 7. Longevity, I'm going to give it a 7. I think it has staying power in a game room if you have a medium-sized collection. If you have a large collection, it's a no-brainer. It's a great game.
I think Steve's mad that you're talking bad about his game.
No, I'm not talking about it. 7's a good score.
It's a pretty good score.
I mean, I took out a Tommy to replace, to put this in its place. So, you know, there you go. And I own several of Steve's games, so this is a good one. So I'm going to give it a longevity of a 7 right now. We're doing artwork first? We're doing sounds first. Sounds?
Sounds of music.
Sounds and music. 9. It's a 9 because it's got a throwback to the classic Black Knight scores from both BK2K. It's got updated versions of those scores, and it goes all the way back to, if you get to hit the right mode, it even throws in a little bit from the original Black Knight. And it's really cool. The updated score is really neat. It doesn't have a lot of different music in it, but the music it has is perfect for the theme. Great job, well done. It really does hit the mark. So I'm going to give the music and sounds a 9. Artwork is a 9.5. It looks like a continuation of the other two machines. It's heavily inspired by all the artwork, and it's well done. You would have thought that the folks that drew BK2K drew it, Black Knight 2000, because it's so heavily inspired from that artwork. Kevin O'Connor did the artwork, I do believe, and did a beautiful job with it. You could just sit there and stare at it for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It's that pretty. Not only that, but the 3D sculpted knight figure that's in the middle of the game that you'll see, that you see in the gameplay where he has the flail and he like hits the ball at you. That's a really cool thing. You know, that's a piece of artwork in and of itself. You might want to pick up one of the translights just to hang up in your game room if you don't buy the game. That's how good the artwork is. So overall, an 8, which is a solid effort. Awesome job, and it might go up once the code updates. So very well done, and that's my grade on Black Knight Swords of Rage. Until we play something else, we'll catch you next time. Later. So there you go.
Yeah. Sorry that we promised you different machines.
What machines did we promise?
I don't even remember. I think Star Trek. Did we even review Star Trek?
We could do this.
Do this? You can't see your head.